happening in this scene? The Lok Adalat is being held to resolve those legal cases which have been pending in the courts for a number of years. What do you think must have been the reason for establishing Lok Adalats when we already have so many courts? Justice delayed is justice denied. In the year 2007, nearly 30 million cases were pending in the courts of India. With more than 15 million new cases being filed in the subordinate courts each year, it becomes increasingly difficult for the courts to deliver timely justice. Thus, to reduce the workload of the courts and ensure quick justice to litigants, the Committee for Implementing Legal Aid Schemes recommended setting up the Lok Adalats. Lok Adalat, or People's Court, was given an official status by the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. They are based on the concept of providing free, competent and faster legal services to the weaker section, as there are neither court fees nor rigid procedures. These courts work on the principle of negotiation and compromise. The system involves the people who are associated with the case, as they can directly interact with the judges. The State and District Authority, Supreme Court and High Court Legal Services Committees can organize Lok Adalats at the place and time they find necessary. Its aim is to ensure that everyone has equal opportunity to get justice from our legal system. Sitting or retired judicial officers, along with other lawyers or social workers, are the consulators of the Lok Adalat. Money claims, partition suits, family feuds and other minor disputes related to damage or accidents are dealt with in the Lok Adalats. Lok Adalats settle disputes which can be resolved through arbitration or mutual consensus. Cases pending in the courts can be transferred to the Lok Adalat if both parties agree or if one party applies for it. Even when the court feels that the matter can be resolved by the Lok Adalat, it is transferred. It has the powers of the civil court and all its decisions are binding. Lok Adalats acts as an alternative legal forum to resolve disputes quickly and effectively through conciliation and compromise.
Shanti has decided to stop working at her employer's home because she was being overworked and underpaid. This is Jamila. She too works at someone's home, where she is often verbally abused for the slightest of mistakes. Until recently, domestic workers like Shanti and Jamila had to silently bear the injustices meted out to them. Due to their meager wages and vulnerable social standing, they could never undertake the fight for their rights. In the year 2002, the Human Rights Law Network filed a public interest litigation on behalf of the National Domestic Workers Welfare Trust and other organizations. In its petition to the Supreme Court, the network demanded that people like Shanti, Jamila, and millions of domestic workers across the country be granted the right to minimum wages, regular working hours, holidays, medical assistance, and protection against harassment at work. The public interest litigation, or PIL, was devised by the Supreme Court in the early 1980s. The public interest litigation enables any person or organization to seek justice in cases that concern the greater common good. A PIL can be filed in the Supreme Court or High Court. It can be filed against a local, state, or central governing body. For instance, the PIL on behalf of domestic workers was filed in the Supreme Court against the Union of India. It doesn't take much to file a PIL. Sometimes, even a simple letter or postcard can become the basis for a public interest litigation. This way, people belonging to all strata of society can demand redress for violation of their rights. Did you know that in certain instances of grave rights violations, the judiciary may take action without a PIL by issuing a notice in suo motu cognizance? Suo motu is the Latin term for of one's own volition. So, what was the outcome of the PIL filed on behalf of India's domestic workers? In 2008, the Government of India enacted the Unorganized Workers Social Security Act. This act ensures the welfare and social security of our nation's unorganized workforce, including domestic workers. The states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Bihar, and Rajasthan have taken steps to set a minimum wage for domestic workers. The states of Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu have passed laws governing the welfare of domestic workers. Thanks to the public interest litigation, people like Shanti, Jamila, and millions of domestic workers across the country have begun to see an end to their plight. In recent decades, the public interest litigation has become a powerful tool to alleviate the exploitation of our nation's disadvantaged sections of society. Think about this and